If you learn one thing about climate change and the greenhouse effect, learn this. There are 8 billion people on Earth, and the amount of carbon dioxide we put into the atmosphere is having a major effect on the climate of this planet. The greenhouse effect is a combination of radiation and convection. The hot sunlight streams in to the system, but the fact that the system is closed and has a roof means that convection cycles can occur again and again and again and again, heating up the already hot air even hotter. The roof on our planet is the clouds of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. The reason we're in this bind is because the car's windows are transparent. They let the sunlight in. Transparency is kind of complicated. The fact that light gets in and UV gets filtered out, or light and UV both get in and we get sunburned, depends on the wavelength of the radiation. The car is full of air and our atmosphere is made of air. Air is transparent both to infrared radiation, which is longer wavelength, and visible light, which is a shorter wavelength. Both the glass of your car window and the carbon dioxide and water vapor in the air absorb infrared waves. Transparent to light, yes, light can come in, light can go out, but infrared gets absorbed. Remember, when you absorb infrared radiation, that radiant energy gets absorbed as thermal energy. That's why the car gets so hot in the sun. The shorter wavelengths go right through the atmosphere, right through the glass windows. There's that radiant energy in the car interior, and it gets absorbed as heat. Now, here's where the imbalance comes in. When we learned about color earlier, we said that things absorb and emit radiation at the same rate. The rate at which anything absorbs heat is equal to the rate at which it emits heat. Otherwise, the universe would freeze to death or blow up. Yes, the seats of your car and everything in it are also emitting heat. But since your car is not the sun, the radiant energy that your car seats, that your clothes, that your stuff in the car emits much longer wavelength. Those longer wavelengths can't get through the glass as well, which is why the re-radiated energy stays inside the car and gets absorbed again. Emitted again, absorbed again, but it's still inside the car. In the end, there's going to be more thermal energy inside the car than there is outside the car, because once those shorter wavelengths get in, the longer ones can't get out. The atmosphere has the same problem. All the wavelengths come in, especially the short ones, which are highest energy and come in best. Earth absorbs the energy, re-radiates the energy. We are not the sun, so we re-radiate at longer wavelengths. The water vapor, the carbon dioxide, the methane, all these pollutants that should not be in our atmosphere in such high levels, they absorb it, they emit longer wavelengths. Those wavelengths do not go through the atmosphere. They're not transparent. They go right back down into Earth. And yay, we've got a convection cycle that heats up again with this radiation that can't escape. Look, let's be clear on this. Without the greenhouse effect, everything would freeze to death. There would be no liquid water on this planet, like many other planets in the solar system. The fact that we have an atmosphere means that we can keep enough of the radiated heat from the core of our Earth and the beautiful streaming in from the sunlight to keep us at nice, pleasant 50, 60, whichever degrees Fahrenheit, not only during the day but during the night as well. The greenhouse effect has made this planet what it is today. What the problem is too much carbon dioxide, water vapor, methane in the atmosphere that's making too much greenhouse effect. Life evolved on this planet from balance. Solar radiation going in, terrestrial radiation coming out. It was supposed to stay balanced. The longer wavelengths reflect off the atmosphere. It's not as transparent. The shorter ones are allowed to go through. Until we humans started breaking the carbon cycle and raising more cows than the planet could support, this balance worked over a period of years. Solar energy came in, terrestrial energy came out. They worked off in balance. But once we've thrown off the balance of the chemistry, the balance between short wavelengths coming in and long wavelengths not getting out has been disrupted. Anytime we burn fuel, the smoke from that fuel enters the atmosphere as carbon dioxide. We're taking fossil fuels from the planet, which are carbon-based, and we're moving that carbon one way into the atmosphere, and it's not going back. This can change the chemistry of the atmosphere. That's the heat absorption, and that's the radiation too. Carbon dioxide chemically isn't the main problem. The main problem is water vapor. Where's the water vapor coming? We're not all cooking that much pasta. We're not all getting hot and sweaty. But because we're taking the carbon from the earth and we're transferring it into the atmosphere in a way that it has no way to get back down again, we're raising not only the amount of average molecular kinetic energy, that's raising the amount of heat. More average molecular kinetic energy means more chaos, means hotter hots, colder colds, less stable weather patterns, more polar vortexes, more miserable summer heat waves, more hurricanes, more tornadoes, more droughts, more dust storms. All of that. Yes, we're also increasing the average temperature of the planet. Well, it still seems pretty cold in Chicago to me. Yes, average over a period of years, not over a period of like next week. One of the ways we know that we are raising the average temperature is that the oceans are starting to evaporate. And remember that cycle whereby the star being born spins and contracts and gets hotter, so it spins and contracts, so it gets hotter again and again? More water vapor in the air means more greenhouse effect, means higher temperatures, means more water vapor in the air. As the polar ice caps melt, the poor polar bears can't find enough ice to take a nap on. The fish that prefer waters at a certain temperature have to swim away. They have to swim deeper and further out and become more inaccessible because everything is too warm and unpleasant for them where they used to live. The Arctic and Antarctic animals can't find enough fish to keep their families healthy. Seafaring humans are having problems with our maritime industries, and the vicious cycle just keeps heating up and heating up and heating up until we can find a way to repair the carbon cycle, stop burning fuels every time we're too lazy to walk and take a bike, and find ways to get this extra carbon dioxide and water vapor out of the atmosphere instead of cycling up and cycling up and cycling up in a way that Greta Thunberg is quite rightly telling us is setting our planet on fire so that she and her children won't have a planet to live on. This is not interstellar, guys. We can't just move somewhere else. We have to fix the problem right here on Earth. Human activity made this problem. It also made things like modern medicine. Housing is a human right. Clean water is a human right. Social justice, the ability to text our friends and call 911. We made the good things. We made the bad things. Now we need to take our brains and fix this problem so that we have more good things and fewer bad things.